part 2 of the Leprechaun history and everything. So I hope y'all enjoy.
I think I just won my taxes.
Oh yeah?
I just switched from TurboTax to H&R Block. It was so easy.
You mean I don't have to go back through all
spells? This tale emphasizes how leprechauns can be violent toward other leprechauns due to their aggressive and territorial mentality. In early Irish mythology, leprechauns were rarely mentioned and usually played only a minor role in the stories. However, their presence became more frequent as time went on. This increase of leprechaun references can be seen in much of the folklore associated with them, such as people trying to capture one for his pot of gold or stories about their mischievous behavior. As these tales grew more popular over time, so did the belief that leprechauns were solitary fairies who could bring good luck if they chose to do so. The idea that they could hold a person's fortune has only added to this mythical creature's allure and made it even harder for some to resist chasing after a pot of gold at the end of every rainbow. But as we can see, those tales are full of caution. You deal with leprechauns at your own risk. Leprechauns are sometimes associated with luck and riches, but they also have a dark side that serves as a reminder that even seemingly good-natured creatures can have a wicked or dangerous side. Leprechauns have a complicated and frequently unsettling mythology that exposes the darker side of Irish tradition, whether it is due to their propensity for violence, their love of deceit and deception, their association with drinking, or the competitive drive. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to Connect Paranormal. This will allow us to make more videos. Thanks for watching.
Did you know there are 8 entries in the Leprechaun horror comedy film series? Seriously, 8. And Hollywood is absolutely working on a reboot. But does the magical miniature murder machine portrayed by Warwick Davis in all but 2 of the Leprechaun films line up with what we find in Irish folklore? Or is the folkloric leprechaun more akin to the happy-go-lucky American cereal mascot? And while we're on the subject, where do leprechauns come from? And what does the word leprechaun mean? The answers might surprise you. Let's start with the basics. What is a leprechaun? I mean, is it a type of elf, a dwarf, a little old man? Well, you'll often find such terms included in dictionary definitions of leprechaun. The reality is that those are merely descriptions of what leprechauns look like. And of course I'm using the word reality here very loosely, because as far as we know, leprechauns are imaginary beings. Or if they do exist, we certainly do not have indisputable evidence of their existence. And no, that pile of animal bones you saw at that Irish pub that one time does not count as indisputable evidence. Imaginary or not, leprechauns exist in the Irish folk tales and fairy tales that have been passed down for centuries. And based on the characterizations found in those stories, I propose the following concise definition for leprechaun. A leprechaun is a solitary Irish fairy, characterized by its short stature, habitual shoemaking and mischief-making, and its immense wealth, which typically takes the form of crocks of hidden treasure. As solitary fairies, which puts them in the same category as the Cloricon and the Fardarg, leprechauns are withered, old, and, quote, in every way unlike the sociable spirits, or trooping fairies. They dress with all unfairy homeliness, and are, indeed, most sluttish, slouching, jeering, mischievous phantoms, end quote. This according to W.B. Yeats's 1888 book, Fairy and Folktales of the Irish Peasantry. D.R. McNally Jr. elaborates on the physical appearance of the leprechaun in his 1888 book, Irish Wonders, noting, quote, he, the leprechaun, is of diminutive size, about 3 feet high, and is dressed in a little red jacket, or roundabout, with red breeches buckled at the knee, grey or black stockings, and a hat cocked in the style
There you
of a
have it,
century ago
leprechaun.
for a little old
I'm sorry the video wasn't that long enough, but I get it next